Alright boys, welcome to Remyadry. We're gonna get right into this. If you don't know what Remyadry is, it's a Touhou fan game on Steam. It's $9.99 USD. And so this is sort of gonna be we're gonna skip the prologue. If you want to see the prologue, get the game yourself. Yes, there we go. This is sort of like a showcasing of the game, but also a bit of a primer because there's a little bit of a learning curve with this game. So yeah, so Patrouille's explaining right now that you should register units before getting started. So yeah, we're gonna register a unit. She's a basic character. We're gonna go with Remyadry. She's gonna be our leader, our fearless leader. Yeah, we're gonna go with her. Insert a name. We're just gonna type Remy. You can type whatever you want, but I'm just gonna go with Remy right now. There you go. Now you're gonna pick a main class and a side class. I would recommend having at least 2 healers on your team and 2 knights. But if you want to roleplay these characters, I'd recommend going like with Idol for Remyadry there. We're gonna make her a knight for our main class though, and for a subclass we'll go with Idol. The reason why I say Idol is, yeah, so Pajuli's explaining stuff. Yeah, you want as much stuff, you want as much units as you can. There's no downside having more units, and yeah, it's just all around better. Especially, you know, if you got like a ton of healers, they'll just keep your guys alive for like ages. It's great. And so yeah, you want to have the top slot for the heroine, and again, we're gonna go with Remyadry. You can have anyone you want, but I just decided to go with Remyadry. Kokuma is not exactly correct in that you don't have to be in the front to make you the. You see, she's explaining go to the shop next, but before we do that, we're gonna register a few more units real quick. Hang on. We'll go with, sure, we'll go Flan, yes. Flandra, what the fuck? Alright, Flandra. Yes. Alright, so with her, we're gonna have her be a, fighter, and then a knight. So knights, the reason why I suggested having 2 knights, did I suggest that? Well, I'm gonna suggest it now in case I forgot. You want 2 knights because knights are essentially your tanks. They're the sponges of the group that'll take a lot of damage and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll go just to show you guys. So here's the skill. So this is the skill tree for fighter. We're gonna go down by using the mouse wheel here. So here's the skill tree for the knights. You got skills for vitality, which means health. Skills for, you know, boosting your defense, and then you've got like the skill here to aggro enemies. On the top of there it says probability to become a target 10% up. So yeah, that's basically your bullet sponges here. And then we'll register some healers as well. We're gonna go with Patchouli. She's gonna be our healer mage of the group, and then we'll have Kokuma be another one as well. I don't remember if there's any sort of like hand-to-hand skills, unfortunately. I put about like 6 hours into this game and I still don't know. There we go. I haven't like touched every single system in this game, just to let you guys know. You can actually go quite a while without having to do everything in the game. In terms of the systems and in terms of min-maxing. But yeah, I'm basically gonna cover the stuff that gave me the most trouble starting off, and some of the more, I think, what I'd call the more important stuff to know starting off. So for her, we're gonna go with fighter, and we'll go with scout maybe, yeah. Alright, so yeah, next, Patchouli wanted us to go to the shop, so let's check out the shop. And there you will find Hiede no Akyu. And yeah, so yeah, in the bottom text is basically gonna explain what's going on, but I'll explain as well. Basically, at the shop, that's where you can do 3 things. You can buy stuff, like equipment, you can upgrade your equipment, or you can recycle your equipment. Now, with buying equipment, it's a bit tricky, because you need more than just money. You actually need to provide both money to Akyu and materials to make the equipment that you want. So although Patchouli wanted you to check out the store, you can't actually do anything here yet, because those items that I referred to before, you need to pick those up at dungeons. We have 0 items. We have 100 money, as you see there on the lore, right? But we have 0 items to provide for creating material. Yeah, she's explaining right now. Materials are necessary to create items. Yeah, she's got terrible stuff starting off, unfortunately. And she's explaining certain systems that will come up later in the game that I won't explain. That'll be easy enough for you guys to figure out. So I'm only gonna cover some stuff here. Alright, so yeah, you can buy stuff here. So yeah, so over here, this costs 5. We'll go with 5 yen. I have 100 yen. I don't know what the monetary system here is in Gensokyo, but yeah. And so over there in the box on the lower right middle, it says Lost Hero Sword and 1 Nanjo coin. So basically, you need that stuff in order to buy a beginner sword. And over here, yeah, you can like, so yeah, here it's just showing everything, and then I scroll down to the side, S weapon, and this will just show all the S weapons, then the M weapons, and then the L weapons. If you're wondering what the S, M, and L stand for, it's small, medium, and long weapons. Earlier I mentioned that the Knight class is great for being bullet sponges, and they have skills to aggro up the enemy. If that alone isn't really enough to really heighten the chances of your knights getting hit. The other thing that helps is the size of your weapon. The shorter the weapon, the more likely you are to get hit. So it's sort of like, if you have an S weapon, a small weapon, you will be on the front line, and if you have a long weapon, a long-range weapon, you will be sort of in the back line. That kind of dictates it. So with knights, you kind of want to give them short weapons. With like mages and healers that can't really take that much damage, you want to give them long range weapons. So yeah, here you've got like wands, you got books, like you got bows, you got brooms. So you know, sort of like how Marissa would have a broom. Yeah, so that's how you can sort of like, you know, further take advantage of that system. We'll go to the next slot here. So here's the item create. That's where you can buy weapons, and item custom. That's where you can upgrade stuff. And then, yeah, she's explaining it there in the bottom. Yep, basically, yeah, you can upgrade like a beginner wand quite a while, but you should probably, you know, at some point buy just, you know, better equipment. So yeah, here. Also, yeah, it costs money, as you can see there, 10 yen to upgrade this, but you also need items there. You see in the box on the lower left, it says, not lower left, lower right rather, magicless staff and gelatinous matter. Items, again, that you have to pick up in dungeons, yeah. So even though you're here, even though Petue told you to go to the store, you can't actually do anything here because you have money but no items. And here, the last thing you do here is recycling. I haven't done recycling. I haven't found the need to do it, so I can't really explain much here. Again, I'm not going to explain all the systems, but yeah, that's just something you do. And I don't really consider that to be of much importance to go over. And so yeah, we're going to go to the next thing we got to do. We got to go to the temple. Temple is where you can revive downed units. So when you go to a dungeon, your guys can die, and when they die, they'll stay dead until you leave. And when you leave, you can come to the temple to have them resurrected. It costs money to have your units resurrected. It's really not that much though if you're worried about that. It's not. It's a paltry sum, especially in the beginning. Yeah, and as he's explaining, there's no resurrection spell in this game. So once a unit is down in a dungeon, you have to wait till you can leave, basically, to get your guys back. If you're wondering how the text speed works, by the way, there are voices in this game. I have the voice volume down to 0 because there's no voice actors. They just have like the Japanese text-to-speech voicing the characters. And once they're done talking, once the text-to-speech is done talking, that's when it goes to the next text. So if it seems weird, the text speed, that's because, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, so Flan also autosaves for you. Is there anything else I gotta explain? I don't think so. We're gonna go to the dungeon now. I'll show you how, you know, fighting works. Come on. Yeah, so there's, so as Alex explained, yeah, she's kind of just here just because there's no other place to put her. There's a story in this game, but the game is very clear on the fact that the story is really just there to facilitate the game and the gameplay. There's a lot of, like, meta commentary and fourth wall breaking on that. I like that, actually, yeah, so there's some story there's a little bit of story there in this game, but it's really about the gameplay. They're trying to make that clear to you in this game. So we're gonna jump into the dungeon right away.